Blighty Boxing with Frank Warren and Queensberry Promotions. Privileged to be joined for the first time by Mr. Ray Ball, who is lead trainer for Denzel Bentley here at the Peacock Gym. Now, it's obvious why we need to speak to you, Ray. Great fight.
Good fight.
2 or 3 weeks ago. Good Denzel fight against Mark Heffron. I've got to ask you how you saw it. It was scored a draw.
Yeah.
All 3 cards. Very unusual.
Yeah.
But you were very close up. I saw it on TV. Not many people saw it at ringside, but apart from you and the team. So tell us how it looked from close up.
Well, I thought on the night we just done enough to win it. You know, some of the clean work what Denzel did, and the knockdown, and a couple of other things what went on. I didn't watch the fight for a couple of weeks. I thought I'd let the dust settle and then I'll look at it then. And when I looked at it again, I thought it was more clearer than when I thought. But listen, the 3 judges see it as a draw. You can't argue with that. If they, you know, and like I said, if they see it as a draw, we've got to accept that. So it doesn't matter if we say our man won and if they say their man won. At the end of the day, it all depends on them three judges, and you're not going to change that. So we go again. But I'll tell you who won on the night was boxing.
Yeah. Boxing
won on the night, and the people who tuned in to watch the fight.
It was a very, very entertaining, good fight. It probably played out a bit differently to how a lot of people would have been expecting. A lot of people would have sort of said about this old put it on in a phone box type thing, expecting absolute carnage. I think that's probably how Mark would have liked it. Your plan was obviously different to that.
Well, I spoke to you earlier and I said to you, you know, Mark Heffron is a bigger version of Gary Corcoran. Like Gary, you know, if we'd have had Gary in the gym, he'd have been ideal sparring for Denzel. You know, because he's a come forward fighter and he keeps coming forward, and that's what Mark. He comes forward. He's come forward. He's got a good engine, and he's coming forward all the time. You know, and you can't if you have 2 fighters coming together like that, something's going to give. So you've got to box a little bit clever, and that's what he did. I thought Denzel he boxed clever, like counter punching and moving.
When Denzel saw the game plan, was he disappointed in the sense, but he probably would have quite liked to have gone in there and had a shootout?
See, the thing is, I've said to you in interviews before, everybody thinks Denzel's a banger. He can bang, we know, his record says that, but it's like what I said to you before, we get kids down here and they can't lay a glove on him, right? And they get out the ring and go, oh, like, you know, what happened there? But he can box, you know, he can have a fight if he wants to fight, but you know, you certain fights you've got to variate for that fighter. You've got to work a plan out for that fight. And I think if he'd have gone in there and had a tear up, then you know, you don't know what's going to happen. He might have knocked Mark out, might not knocked him out in about 4 rounds. You don't know. You just, you know. But so we worked on breaking him down, and you know, and I thought that we'd done enough to do that. But like I said, at the end of the day, 3 judges there. They all had the same scorecard, so you've got to respect that, and we go again.
It occurred to me early on, but we used to sort of make fairly glib comparisons with Denzel with a young Nigel Benn, and you kind of didn't quite go along with that. No. But then I saw early on, I was watching him sparring, and I was thinking he's actually looking more like Errol Graham now than Nigel Benn. He's
got a little bit of. If I would go along with Errol Graham, then no disrespect to Nigel Benn, great fighter Nigel Benn. You know, if Denzel does half what Nigel's done, then I'll be happy. You know, but like I say, he has got more of a Errol Graham movement. You know, and he can whack a little bit, and he has got that little bit about him. You know, I think that's a fair assessment of him. You know, and I will say I've got a lot of respect for them guys up in Sheffield, because that gym up there, then I've turned some good fighters out there. You know, the Ingalls, great trainers. If we get a little bit of that down here, we're doing something right, you know.
Just finally, you're jumping straight back into it. Is that the only way to go? Sort of, with any considerations of not doing it or going in another direction?
No, I don't think that we could. he used up all them resources of fighting guys. No disrespect to the journeymen and bringing Eastern European guys over. You know, the Nickel fight was a fight. What was a bit of an acid test, and he come through that. All right, it wasn't one of his greatest performance, but he still come through that. You know, you know, he boxed Nick Blackwell. Oh, Nick Blackwell's a good fighter, British champion. International champion. It took Nick, not Nick Blackwell,
Nick Hall.
What's his name? Jack Armfield.
Oh, Jack Armfield, yeah.
It took Jack Armfield 10 rounds to get him out of there. It took Denzel 6. So there's a little bit of a, you know, a bit of
yardstick
there for him there, you know. But one thing I would like to say before we go, Richard, I think the two boys conducted themselves really, really well.
Will they keep it up into the next one?
Please God, I hope they do, because you know, they done boxing proud, and they done their families and their trainers proud. So you can't ask for no more than that. So I hope they do. I hope they do.
Right, I've just got, before we go, clear up one thing. Now I've always understood your name is Ray Bull. Is that correct?
B-U-L-L.
Bull.
Yeah.
He told me it was Bull.
No, I don't know.
I even texted him once.
He's just like taking a mickey. Ask him. Who am I? Who am I? No, but.
Oh, Raging Bull.
So we got this right. Officially Ray Bull.
Yeah, that's it. You got it.
Officially Raging Bull.
If you need to know someone's name, don't ask Martin Bowers.
No, he's a piss take. He's a piss take.
Thank you very much.